I definitely got caught up in the hype of the Louis Vuitton re-release of the Murakami multicolour collection. When I heard this was coming and the multicolour was being re-released, my initial reaction was not, oh, wouldn't it be great to see what they release? Wouldn't it be great to see what pieces there are? I can't wait to see the lookbook. No. My initial reaction was, what am I buying? How much am I buying? How many pieces am I buying? Am I buying multiples? What bags can I buy? What else can I buy? There was no thought in my mind that I was not going to buy some of this collection. There was no consideration that I may pass on it. There was no even inkling that I may think, well, actually, none of those bags are for me, because here is the reality. Here is the harsh truth that maybe I have kept even from myself up until now. I don't particularly love Y2K bags. I don't particularly love the bags that look very 90s, 2000s, and I'll put some images on the screen of the ones that I mean. And these were some of the most popular Louis Vuitton multicolour Murakami pieces at the time. I don't really love them. And when they re-released the Pochette Accessoire, I don't like the stud work that comes on these pieces. There's a few of their bags that have the print of the canvas and then they have the vachetta and then they have the studs. I don't like those. They look very 90s and 2000s to me. And personally, and just personal choice, I just don't like it. It's not my style. But even so, when I heard that the multicolour was being re-released, what can I buy? Now, in my defence, because I feel that's appropriate in this instance, I have always loved the multicolour canvas. I have the original Speedy. Let me grab that. I have this, which is the original Speedy 30 from the release of Murakami back in 2000, and it is the black multicolour. And I absolutely adore the canvas on this. I love the black background. I love the multicolour. I love the vachetta with it and the gold hardware. The re-release was silver. I've said before, I didn't like that. But I just love this bag as decor. The reason that I bought this bag was because I wanted a piece of the black multicolour, and it sits as decor out on my shelving unit in my office. I knew that I would never, not even once, use this bag because I don't particularly like it as a bag. I don't like, I know I hear it, I don't like really the gold corners. I don't really like this part of the buckle. It's a 30, it's very boxy, it's very big. So I knew I was never going to use it as a bag because to my mind, this looks like those 90s, 2000 bags I'm talking about now. There are ones that are more, in my mind, 90s, 2000s, and I'll put pictures on. This one was probably one of the ones that I could get on board with most, and I wanted it for the canvas in my room, in my office. I wanted it as decor. But I never actually really loved a lot of the bags, apart from the Nano Speedy. I always loved the black Nano Speedy with the gold hardware and the vachetta leather. I always loved that. The reason I never bought one on the resale market was, truth be told, I am not a great lover of vintage. I prefer to buy bags new. Judge me if you want, but I'm not a great lover of it. I would have a bit more comfort now that I've been through the process with Louis Vuitton of having the vachetta leather replaced on my Neverfull and knowing that if you got one of these with the bad leather or whatever, you could send it back. So I really do like the black mini Speedy. It's not called a mini, no, it's not even called a mini Speedy now, Nano Speedy, Amelia, but it wasn't called a Nano Speedy back then. One of the concerns I had about it as well, it's not crossbody. I wouldn't really carry that handheld. I think you can do something to make it crossbody. But the reason I never bought one is because I just don't really love vintage. So when they were re-releasing Murakami, I was very excited for the multicolour canvas and I was very excited for a black Nano Speedy. Okay, then we get the lookbook. And I look at the bags and I'm looking through the lookbook and it's quite evident to me I don't like a lot of the bags. The Speedy in the black was a 30 size. It had these corners. It was silver. The white Speedy 25 I didn't love because I don't really love the Speedy 25 apart from the P9. I know I am a massive contradictions here and I am totally contradicting myself, but I'm just being honest. Even though I looked at that lookbook and thought, I don't really love any of those bags, my mind, in the hype and the hysteria of the Murakami multicolour re-release, and in my defence again, my genuine love of the multicolour canvas, was going, well, get on it, girl. Find what we're buying, because we're not FOMO. We're not missing the release of this multicolour Murakami re-release. We are buying pieces of this because we couldn't buy it back then, even though we didn't like a lot of the bags, but we definitely would have bought the agenda cover, absolutely. Would have bought the Nano Speedy, absolutely, or whatever it was called. But on the bags that are re-released, we don't really like a lot of those. And I was very, very disappointed when I got the lookbook. Not in the multicolour canvas, but I was really hoping there would be a petite malle in multicolour. Imagine that in this canvas with the gold hardware. It would have been stunning. And I, for one, in my creative directorness, think that Louis Vuitton missed a trick when it came to that. I think that would have been very popular and it would have been a very expensive bag, and I think there would have been a good call for that. And I was also really disappointed they didn't have the agenda cover. Now, I did buy the notebook cover and I've no regrets about buying the notebook cover. I bought this and I bought the notebook to go inside it. And I think this is great on my desk. I love the look of it. I love carrying it, even though I haven't written in it yet. But I just really like the look of it. And I bought the black passport cover, and I need to order the little notebooks from Amazon that are the passport size, and this can stay in my bag easily. Those are just Amazon notebooks, so they're easily replaced. You're not using the Louis Vuitton one. This is just going to be handy for that. So I did buy these because I'm a stationery lover and a stationery geek, and I wanted a bit of the Murakami in stationery. I was so disappointed they didn't do an Agenda GM in it. I would have bought the Agenda GM probably in the white and the black. My preference would have been the black, but if they'd had both, I probably would have bought both because I love stationery that much. So I was disappointed in that. And I was disappointed, and I appreciate that this is personal choice, and a lot of you won't agree with this, but I was disappointed that the black multicolour bags came with silver hardware. And I know that that makes it more unisex. I know a lot of you have said it makes it fresher looking, it makes it more sleek. A lot of people prefer silver hardware. It gives it a bit of a different look than what the original was. But for me, I prefer the warmth of the gold hardware against the black multicolour. So the one bag that I had been dying to see on this lookbook, the black Nano Speedy, had silver hardware. And I looked at it and was like, no, what have you done to the bag I want to buy? And all along, I am a lover of the black multicolour. It did not cross my mind to buy any of the white multicolour on the vintage market. Didn't love the white multicolour. Yeah, I know what's coming with how many pieces we have here. Didn't love it. But because I was intent that I had to have multicolour Murakami, and I was looking at the lookbook for the cherry blossom and the cherries, and also thinking I have to have some of this as well. What can I find? And I'll come on to that, because truth be told, I never loved the cherry blossom original release collection, and I never loved the cherries collection. I am not a collector of Murakami. But yet, in my mind, when there was the re-release of those other two aspects of this collection, I was also thinking, what am I going to buy? What am I going to buy? Crazy. So we're looking through the multicolour release lookbook, and there isn't a petite malle, there isn't the agenda cover, and there isn't the black Nano Speedy with the gold. And I'm thinking, because I'm totally caught up in this at this point, it didn't even cross my mind that I wouldn't buy some of it, or I would buy less. And don't get me wrong, I will talk to you about the pieces I did buy, but it didn't even come into that in there, grey matter, that we wouldn't buy some of this. So I don't love the black Nano Speedy with silver. So I look at the white one, and we have the white one here. And I've never really loved the white multicolour. But all of a sudden, yeah, we'll buy that. Yep, we will take the white Nano Speedy, and isn't this fabulous? This was made for me by the lady who makes the other Vivian charm that a lot of you have loved. And she sent it to me specifically for this bag because I said in a TikTok or in a video that I don't really like the little bow charm that hangs on this. So she made me this, and I think it's stunning. I will link her down below in the description box. And I thought, yes, we'll buy the white one. We've never been a lover of white multicolour. Maybe we didn't give it a big enough chance, Amelia. So we'll buy the white one because we have to buy one of these bags. And we specifically have to buy one of the Nano Speedies. That was just a given in my mind, and I know I hear it. So when it came to ordering it, I was ordering the pieces that I did decide to get, and most of the pieces apart from this that I decided to get were kind of decor pieces. Let me pick them off the floor. So we have both of these, which are stationery, which I was always going to get. I love these. I collect notebooks, and these sitting out of my desk, I think they're fab. I loved this. When I did look through the lookbook, I think for me this was probably my favourite piece, or one of my favourite pieces, and I know that sounds random compared to the pieces that they were making, but I just loved this. It's the perfume holder. I love the gold against it. I loved how bright the colours in it were. I just really love this. Now my initial intention had been to put this downstairs with my perfume, and I have the pink Epi one of these, and I keep it with the perfumes and I use it. That was my initial intention. I love this so much. I've kept it in this room sitting up there because I just really, really like it on display. And if I'm going away this weekend, I probably will take one of my Louis Vuitton perfumes, and I'll probably take the pink Epi leather because Epi leather is kind of indestructible and it's going to travel. I'm not going to have to worry about the white in the suitcase. So I will probably keep this one here more on display. And this piece I think I absolutely love. I bought this. Did I need to buy this? Probably not. And look, it still has its little tag on it because I haven't taken it off and I haven't used it. It still has this little thing on it. And I bought... Why did I buy this? Because it looked pretty. Because it looked pretty, and I thought, oh, that would be nice on display. We've just talked about this being on display. We've just talked about these being on display in my office. Why did we, and I'm using the royal we to deflect from it being myself, why did we also need a white multicolour cosmetic pouch to sit on display? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just wanted it. I liked it. I liked the colours of it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And since Bestie bought me the cosmetic pouch in the flight mode, which is downstairs in my work bag, I have become more inclined to the cosmetic pouch. I used to say don't buy these and I used to not buy them. I do think you'll get more wear in the corners of these than you will on the toiletry. The shape is a little bit more difficult to pack. But since he bought that, it's very pretty. I hear myself sometimes and I worry. And yes, it's very pretty. So I decided I would get this one as well because it's pretty. I know. Now, I also bought the black key clay, which is on my P9 Speedy back there. I love it. I was always going to buy it. A tiny mini little clay in the black multicolour was another one of my pieces like this that was top of the list. So there were some of the pieces that I've just dropped it on the floor. It's good for it. There were some of the pieces that I looked on the lookbook and immediately I thought, absolutely, I want to have that. The notebook covers were definitely one. This was definitely one. And the little key clay was definitely one. This was probably just as I continued to look through the lookbook, because I've told you before, when I first looked at that lookbook, I was going to buy everything. I need it all. And it was Meredith, who is not normally the one to talk me out of collecting things, was saying you don't need all that. You don't like all those styles. You don't like all of those bags. What are you doing, you crazy woman? And when Meredith is saying that, you need to listen because she is a true collector. And then I thought, yeah, you're right. Like I was looking at shoes and all that I would never wear. And I calmed down slightly, but I think ordered 7 or 8 pieces. This, yeah, as we've discussed, just because I thought it would be pretty. And this was because, if I'm entirely honest, I really wanted the black and then I didn't like it with silver hardware and I was not prepared to not buy one. I wanted one of the mini Speedies. So I bought this one and I do love it. I've used this already. I have taken this out with me. She is still perfect on the inside. She's very, very light on the inside. I do love the colours on it. I do think it's very, very cute and I do love it. But it would not have been my first choice, and that's probably what the nub of this is and the honest aspect of this is. I got so caught up in the re-release of this collection that I bought things that even weren't my first choice or weren't my dream version of the bag because it's what was there and it's what was available. And I didn't want the FOMO. I had the FOMO and I wanted to have those pieces. So I bought the white, even though I would have preferred the black, because the black I didn't like with silver. So it was not about just looking at it and absolutely falling in love and loving it. It was like, well, if I can't get that one, I need the next best thing. And I do, I'm not selling it. I do love it. But it wouldn't have been my first choice. I would have preferred the black if it had the gold hardware. But because that wasn't an option, I took this. And I know I'm very lucky to have it. I know this was one of the most difficult pieces to get from this collection. I know it's very sold out. There's stupid money in the resale market. I know they're very difficult to get. And I do. And as I say, I've used it. I'm really glad now that I did buy it because I love it more than I was worried I was going to love it. And if I'm honest, when I was booking these way back when, at the pre-sale part, when I included this, even up to the night before, I was thinking, do you really want that? Do you really like that? Do you really like the white in that Nano Speedy? And in my mind, I was like, just order it because you're going to regret it if you don't. And I would have, because I do now. I have used it, thankfully, and I do now love it. But I was in my mind thinking right up to the last minute, do you even want that? And glad I took you in and you're now part of the collection. But that is how crazily caught up in this hype that I got. And the same then transcended over to the cherry blossoms and the cherries. I never liked those collections. But I was looking through the cherry blossoms lookbook thinking, what can I order? Not, is there any of this that I love? What can I order? What can I find in this collection that I love enough to order? And I was so close to ordering the Nice Nano in it. Is that right? No, Nice Mini. The Nice Mini comes in the cherry blossom. And I did really like it, as in it has the monogram background. It had the cherry blossoms painted on it. And I thought that was really pretty. And I thought sitting on my desk, that would be lovely. I have a Nice Mini. Okay, it doesn't have cherry blossoms painted on it, but do I need another piece of decor like that? I have my trunk sitting behind me, which has the hand painting on it, and, Amelia, it has cherry blossoms painted on it, because I love cherry blossoms. But the ones of the collection, the original collection and this collection, weren't my favourite version. But yet I was still looking at that Nice Mini, thinking I should have bought that. And, to be more honest, after I collected all of my Murakami, I kind of thought I should have bought the Nice Mini in the black multicolour. Why? Oh, because it would have been nice to sit somewhere. Really, Amelia? I think it's like £1,000. I know, but it would have looked lovely. We already have Exhibit A sitting as decor for the black multicolour. But I did think in my crazy brain, I should have bought that black Nice Mini. And then I thought, I'm going to buy the Nice Mini in the cherry blossoms because I couldn't finish that sentence. Because I wanted it as decor, I thought it was lovely. Spoiler alert, I haven't ordered it because I had a word with myself. I wanted it to get something from the collection. I don't need another Nice Mini. I use the one that I have. Don't need it as more decor. The trunk is sitting there. It would have just sat. And that I have to, I know. And yes, I will buy things again in life that are for decor. But I bought so much of this, I talked myself out of it, that I don't need to order that. And I haven't ordered anything. I don't think the pre-sale's open for the cherries yet. I haven't ordered any of that. There is one piece that I do really like in that I might order, potentially. But definitely have calmed myself down, because when this first came, and that's the thing when there's going to be all the hype around the release that's sold out, and can you get pre-order and can you not get pre-order, and are they going to fulfill the orders? As I've said before, Vuitton do things fabulously like that. They build the hype, then the scarcity mindset sets in, and for me, order. So I'm trying to calm, because I did get very caught up. I bought things that weren't even perfect for what I wanted. I bought things that I'm still not entirely sure why I bought. Skip past that. But this, yes, caught up in the hype, didn't really critically look at it or think it through, didn't really assess it, definitely got caught up in the scarcity mindset. And is it now all that it was made out to be? I do love the pieces I have, but I was disappointed with the releases and the parts that they didn't release, the ones we've talked about. And that's probably just me being really, really honest. Let me know what you think. I know that I'm in a very privileged position because so many people wanted pieces of this collection and didn't get it. And now to hear me saying to you that I ordered this and didn't even know if I wanted it until it came, and I ordered this really to sit there, I know could be triggering, and I apologise for that. And I know there's going to be people thinking, I really wanted a piece of that and you ordered all of that and you didn't even really love all of it. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to tell you where my mind's at with the Murakami collection. I'm not selling any of it. I all the pieces that I got, luckily I love, and I love having as decor, and I have used this. So I feel I've kind of redeemed myself slightly, but I appreciate if there is a reaction to this, and I get that completely, because this was a not well managed release and launch, and so many people didn't get their pieces or didn't get the opportunity to get pieces, and I know I'm in a really privileged position, and I take that and I accept that, and I want to say that out loud. But let me know what you think of this collection. Do you think it was really hyped? Did you get caught up in it? Are you now thinking I shouldn't have bought that, or I should have bought that? I find it really interesting. And what are you thinking about the cherry blossoms and the cherries? I will make a video talking about the cherry blossoms collection because it's been released for pre-release, and being quite honest with my thoughts on that. And yes, and then the cherries will come, and no doubt we'll talk about that as well. Thank you so much for watching this one. If you haven't found my internal struggle in any way entertaining, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing. And if you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen to enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching me. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.